Hello and welcome. This is CJ Radune of RotoWire.com here for your Formula One update on the Prime Sports Network. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any motorsports videos all season long, including NASCAR, IndyCar, and, of course, Formula One. You can access my columns by clicking the link in the description of this video. And if you have any questions or comments, just feel free to let me know what is on your mind. So this week, coming up to the Formula One Aramco British Grand Prix, but last week, just a very quick turnaround, we were actually in Austria, and it wasn't just a race weekend, it was actually a sprint race weekend, the second of the season. If you've been paying attention all season, you've known that I've been recommending Max Verstappen pretty much every single week, and for good reason. He actually dominated the weekend again at Austria, another perfect weekend. He actually captured pole. He won Saturday's sprint race and then added Sunday's race win to boot. So even more impressively, on that race win on Sunday, he actually risked a 23 second lead and perhaps a victory by pitting on the second to last lap for fresh tires. He actually came out of the pits only 4 seconds ahead of Charles Leclerc in second. And that was all in an effort to get that fastest lap point. And the team executed to perfection. Verstappen used those fresh tires on the last lap of the race, and he actually took that extra point for that fastest lap as well. So quite honestly, a perfect weekend for Max Verstappen. It was absolutely amazing that they went for that extra point too, and just shows you the confidence that is in this team and this driver right now. Seems like there is absolutely nothing that is going to stop them here in the short term. So what about Sergio Perez? Things look to be quite bad for him actually in the weekend. He didn't qualify well, failed to advance. He started pretty low in the field. In the sprint race, though, he actually seemed to turn things around. So he came back. He actually battled with Verstappen on that first lap. But ultimately, Verstappen was faster, and Perez finished second in that sprint race. The real boost, though, for Sergio Perez came on Sunday. He started 15th, as I mentioned. He failed to advance to the top spots in qualifying, started deep in the field, but drove an inspired and mistake-free race and finished third. And that was actually his first podium result since all the way back in Miami. So things are actually looking up for Sergio Perez right now. And I think in Great Britain, that will prove to be to his benefit as well. So second on the podium was not Perez. Perez finished third. Second on the podium was another kind of surprise in Charles Leclerc and Ferrari. It was Leclerc's first podium since the last sprint race at Azerbaijan. Ferrari and whole, they were quite strong in Austria. So post-race interviews suggested that they did find confirmation of the direction that they're going with their car developments, and that actually came for them in Spain. And they didn't have the greatest performance in Spain, but whatever they saw let them know that they were on the right track. And the upgrades that they brought to Austria, those really paid off. And Leclerc was second. Carlos Sainz finished sixth. And there's heavy speculation that Ferrari could be on form again this weekend in Silverstone. And I think that is going to be true. You just need that little bit of confidence and that confirmation that you're going in the right direction. And that's what Ferrari needed. So look for them this weekend as well. How about the biggest surprise in Austria? McLaren and Lando Norris. McLaren has largely struggled this season, but something clicked in Austria, and that pushed Norris into the mix for the fourth place finish. And actually, what that click was developments that came to the car. So they too have found a way to improve their car. They actually only put those upgrades on Norris's car. Piastri did not get those upgrades, which is why he languished down in the field. So this week, coming up to Great Britain, Oscar Piastri as well as Lando Norris both have those upgrades on the car. Piastri finished 16th last week, qualified 13th. I think he's going to move up the order with Norris there as well this week at Great Britain. But you'll have to pay close attention to them to see how well Piastri, and if Norris, quite frankly, can continue to take advantage of those upgrades that they saw in Austria. Fernando Alonso, again, he got the better of the McLaren or the Mercedes teammates, leading them to fifth, while Hamilton and Russell finished seventh and eighth, respectively. I would expect Aston Martin, again, to continue holding an edge in that battle over Mercedes. However, Great Britain, fast track pit strategy as well could come into play. So Mercedes is going to be a thorn in Aston Martin's side through the rest of the year. However, right now, keeping Fernando Alonso with that edge in that battle. So that's a recap of Austria. A lot of it as predicted, some of it not. But this week we head to Silverstone in England, and it's home to the Aramco British Grand Prix. This track, Silverstone, was originally an airbase in World War II and hosted Formula One since 1950. In fact, That's the site of the very first Formula One race. So lots of history at this track. The layout has changed multiple times. Most recently was 2011, and that's the format that we race on today. It's a little over 3.6 miles, 3.66 to be exact, and it's 18 turns, and it is one of the faster circuits on the schedule. There are a lot of high-speed corners where car setups need to be completely spot on in order to get the maximum lap time. Overtaking at this track is possible in many, many places. We've seen passes happen almost everywhere on this track. The prime spots, though, are obviously after the DRS zones, and those are heading into turns 6 and 7. So there's some pretty heavy braking coming into those turns. Those are some of the tighter turns on the track. It's more easy to get the job done in those turns versus the rest of the track. However, you can expect passing pretty much anywhere here at Silverstone. Carlos Sainz Jr. won last year's race in the Ferrari, but Lewis Hamilton, actually, when you come to Silverstone, it's his home circuit. He's the king here, undoubtedly. 8 victories. Max Verstappen, just 1 from 2020. So it's going to be interesting to see how this weekend plays out. Red Bull, again, they're going to be the favorites. And like last week, I expect both drivers to be on the podium. Perhaps this time Perez can actually get through qualifying and make his way to second spot on the podium. But that will really depend on his qualifying. So everybody's going to have to pay very close attention to Sergio Perez on Saturday's qualifying, see if he's able to advance into Q3. If he's able to, if he's certainly able to start inside the top 3 or 4 positions, I would put him second on the podium for Sunday's race. He's going to have to contend with Ferrari, though. Given Ferrari's pace at Austria, they might actually be in line to take that 3rd spot, if not even the 2nd, if Sergio Perez has any slip-ups. And I actually lean toward Leclerc taking that position, and I think Leclerc will likely finish 3rd. That said, with the Alonso-Hamilton battle, I think they're going to be fighting for 4th position this week. Sainz is going to be up there in the Ferrari as well, but that battle between Alonso and Hamilton, again, I'm going to give the edge to Alonso. So Mercedes pit strategy is definitely going to be something to watch, though. That could be the thorn in Fernando Alonso and Aston Martin's charge this weekend. So we do have a potential upset this week, and it's in the case of the winner without, of course. So when you think about the winner without, you're talking about the teams that are not Mercedes, not Red Bull, not Ferrari, and not Aston Martin. We've actually seen Alex Albon and the Williams coming to the fore here. So given that straight line speed that the Williams has shown the past couple of weeks here at a fast track, I think Albon's actually going to be the one to go with in this winner without category. They're long straights, and that car has been fast. And if Albon can get track position, I think he's going to be able to hold the rest of the pack behind him through the rest of this race. So look for Williams as you scroll through the odds, or as you see the odds scrolling above. Look for that Alex Albon Williams play. That might be a good one for Sunday. Those looking for the race picks, again, Red Bull, maybe go with them for a double podium finish. Certainly a Max Verstappen, you're not gonna make much ground on that, given his odds, given how big of a favorite he is. And for those looking for an upset in that category, I would point toward Ferrari and Charles Leclerc. So where are the upsets? Leclerc and Ferrari for a potential win, and certainly Alex Albon in the Williams for winner without. Otherwise, you're going to be looking at Max Verstappen and Red Bull as usual. So there we are. That is what we are looking for the Great Britain Grand Prix here at Silverstone Circuit. So again, I am CJ Radune of RotoWire.com for the Prime Sports Network. Remember, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any motorsport videos all year long. That includes NASCAR, IndyCar, and what you're here for, Formula One. You can access my columns by clicking the link below. And if you have any questions or comments or anything that you want me to address, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, until next time, keep it out of the fence.